So, some of you may remember back in April of 2021, I actually bought a Miata. To be honest, most of you probably didn't even know that, and if you did, well, you probably already forgot, considering, the lack of Miata content on the channel. So, you may be wondering, what actually happened to the dream project car, which was, the Miata? Well, between, school, work, and the Subaru always breaking, I didn't have time, patience, or money for the Miata. It went from replacing a head gasket to needing a new head entirely, and at the time, that just wasn't something that I could deal with. Unfortunately, it just wasn't possible at the time for me. I had no idea where to find a new head for the 1.8. I had no time to even reassemble the engine to begin with, and not to mention I was just not ready for a job like that at all. I lacked the tools, the knowledge, and especially the patience. So around the time I was balancing college and work, and I started to gain an interest in bikes. I ended up listing the Miata for trade, and a friend of mine actually immediately hit me up with a bike, and I was interested, and we went through with the deal. So we made the trade, and bye-bye Miata. Then, of course, after a few months with the bike, I realized that the bike wasn't for me. Well, this bike at least. Something about barely being able to keep up with, the cars on the road didn't really sit right with me. The bike was simply too slow and it just didn't feel right for me. I mean, it was a dual sport. Probably should have been riding it off-road instead of on the road anyway, but I was really looking for a road bike to begin with. Now, I have a history with bikes and they already terrified me, before this whole thing went down, so naturally, I sold the bike. Meanwhile, the Miata has been getting love. The new owner had already replaced the head, the wheels, the exhaust, a new top, a new head unit. The car was running on the road and officially back from the dead. However, some things came up and the Miata was back up for sale. With that being said, the money that I got from the bike, I put in a little bit more cash and obviously I bought the Miata again. And I am proud to say that the Miata is officially right back where it belongs. Project Miata is officially a go. Now let's try this again. So when I had gone to go pick up the Miata, I knew it had to be trailered, so we brought a trailer, it wasn't a problem. Car's at stock ride height, so we figured it would be fine, but before we realized it was too low, it was too late. I mean, the exhaust already had caught onto the trailer and ripped off right before the catalytic converter, so yeah, it was very loud. There she is. Even though the Miata was now running, there was still one problem that had recently occurred on the car, and the clutch system was going out. It was, of course, the two hydraulic cylinders, and that actually is very common on NA Miatas. At first, I was just thinking that it was the master cylinder, so I bought a new master, I put it in the car. Everything was good for like 2 or 3 days. I was driving the car or whatever. Then the problem slowly started coming back, and I ended up finding out that the slave cylinder also had to be replaced. So the original slave cylinder had such a bad leak that the entire whole system was full of air. There was barely any fluid, and I couldn't put the car into gear at all. So I ended up bringing it to a friend of mine's house, and it was a pretty easy job. all thanks to my boy Patrick and his lift. That came in clutch. After all that was said and done, I was thinking maybe, hey, I could daily the Miata and not put any more miles on the Subaru, and then just full project car the Subaru, right? Well, I was wrong, obviously. Everything was going good for like maybe a month. Me and my lady were out getting some lunch one day. We walk back to the car, I go to start it. It hesitates to start and then just dies. I then popped the hood and just started looking around, and then I saw what was either a missing fuel line or just a random vacuum hose that was squirting out fuel. So I put a line on the hose and nothing happened. So once again, I had to trailer the Miata back home. That experience alone makes me 100% sure that I am not going to be able to daily the Miata. It's just gonna keep breaking. So it looks like I just have a project car with the Miata instead, which is completely fine. That's originally what I bought it for anyway, so. And fast forward to right now, where the car currently sits in my yard, and no, it's not running, once again. I first pulled the fuel injectors to make sure that everything was good there, and I wasn't 100% sure that that was the problem, but one of them was cracked down the middle anyway, so I went ahead and replaced all 4 of them. That ended up not actually being the problem. I have a pretty good idea of what I think the problem is. So right after I had replaced the fuel injectors, I was trying to get the car to start. I was sitting in the car, turning the key. My uncle had some starting fluid. He was spraying it in. It sounded like it was about to start. So he sprayed a little bit more starting fluid, and the car backfired out of the intake, and the car caught on fire. And no, I'm not lying when I say the car literally was on fire. And sadly, I don't have any footage because I was rushing to put it out. Nothing got damaged, but it would have been funny, you know? It would have been funny content. And now I'm going to announce that since the car is sitting in my yard and I need to do all the diag on it, and I need to fix it, it's broken again, I'm going to officially announce that Project Miata is going to be officially coming to the channel. I'm going to be finally making some content on it. I'm going to start with, you know, recording the diag process, fixing the car, and we're going to see where I go with that. The car itself does need a lot of work, so I think it's going to be a fun little project car for the channel, and I think you guys are going to enjoy all the content that I can make with this car. I think all of this is going to be a really good learning experience. I think you guys get to enjoy it. I get to enjoy it. I really love working on cars, especially when it goes right. I'm so glad to be able to bring you guys more content with both the Miata and the Subaru, and possibly something else. If you guys like this video and you're excited for more Miata content, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video with your family and friends. Let me know what you guys want to see next from the Miata, the Subaru, and whatever else is coming next. And that's really all I have to say.